Hello and welcome, Jason Walker Tea Review. Here in Jersey, we have gone through our first real wintry cold spell. It's getting close to Christmas, and it's that time for hot tea. We're looking at a tea today, a green tea, so we're going to go ahead and get this one started. Hope you join us. Hope you've come here to appreciate and taste some teas with us. If you want to taste teas with us, of course, you go right up above. There's a future episodes page link. There is a how to taste page link, and that will give you the information that will tell you upcoming teas that we're going to be looking at, so you can get your equipment ready. You can order your tea in advance. You can sit down with us, taste teas as we taste, and learn about teas. Let's go ahead and get this one started. We have I'm using a little bit of a larger gaiwan. I believe this is probably between 4 and 5 ounces here. And we're doing a green tea. It's called White Monkey. Don't let the name white confuse you because there still is a green tea. Now, I guess I should use my spoon to just kind of show. That is, a quarter. Because it's a fluffy, bulky type tea, that's more like a quarter of a teaspoon. There we are. We're getting closer to a full teaspoon. We're piling it up because this is like we said, a light colored light tea. So, and that covers most of the bottom, the base of our gaiwan. Just another pinch, just because I like strength, heft to my tea. So we'll put that aside for now. Let's get this one started. We got our water, which has come close to it started to bubble. We've got an early boil, I guess we could say. And we want to kind of move that around, move that as we pour, so that the water swirls over and around our leaves, covering them with water, not just getting some leaves that are floating on top and still almost dry on that surface. So we'll set this aside, get this water out of the way, and let's give a little bit of an introduction about this tea before we jump in and go too far. This is a green tea from Adagio, and this is called WhiteMonkey. Their tea, the sample size like this runs for $2. It is from the WhiteMonkey is traditionally from Fujian province, and that's what we have in front of us. And we're going to look at the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor, of course. So let's go ahead and take a few moments and comment on our dry leaf. First off, you get aromas, and I cover this up to just kind of trap more aroma in there. But you are getting a kind of, like a grass, vegetable type sweetness, something like like clover or corn husk. There's a kind of a green vegetable type sweetness that's in those, and that's what you're picking up here. No, not much, not a variety of, but that's basically that green type classic smell. Now let's look at our leaves though. We'll get out our spoon here and just kind of dig around a little bit. You'll notice, you may have just noticed that when you do your gaiwan, it's often ideal to make sure that you pour enough water so that a little bit of water sticks out or is above the rim of your lid when you put your lid on. That creates a seal. But that also means there's steam. You've got a pocket of air, of course, near the top, middle, center of your lid, and the steam builds up and builds pressure in there, and your lid, you'll hear it just kind of rattle every once in a while. And that's what I just heard that right then. Now, as we look at our leaf, variety of colors, you are seeing some kind of olive drab type greens. You've got a little bit all over, skewing over towards the yellowish brown color on that. So this gives the indication that these possibly were older leaves, that these have not were not locked in at their greenest, youngest, or that storage has become a factor in changing the color, affecting the color of this tea. But at the same time, you are getting some nice silvery, fuzzy tips. Tips indicate the youngest, most delicate part of the plant, which is a good sign because that's where a lot of flavor and other redeeming characteristics. Good quality is noted by the presence of tips like that. So, variety of colors. Our characteristic green, a lot of our characteristic green tea type sweet smells coming off of that. So that takes care of our dry leaf. Let's take a moment now and check on our wet leaf. Yeah, those have opened up quite a bit of color coming off as well. So I'm going to get out my tea towel, set that up, and we're going to use a wine glass, of course, because just a wine glass gives us two abilities. One, stick our nose in the cup. Two, to hold it up to the light and note the color. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got my tea towel ready here. Using a guy one, lean your lid over to the side, because that's the side you're going to be pouring from. That also allows the air to enter from what will become the upper part, the top part. Middle finger, thumb on the rim here, index finger on the lid to hold it in place, and voila. And not a drop on the tea towel. We did well this time. So we'll set that aside, fold up our tea towel for now, and take a look at our wet leaf. A couple of things we're going to look at here. First thing we're going to do, though, of course, is get a nice smell. We want to be careful, though, because it's still quite warm to the touch. You're getting beany type smells, like a cooked white bean. So that's a little bit there. Still a little bit of a kind of a roasted, smoky type, almost burnt kind of aspect to it, and that's light. That's lighter, and that's characteristic. I've encountered several green teas that will present this kind of smell. So that's within line, within range, or within bounds, I should say. What else? Yes, previous tastings, I'd have to mention this. I checked my notes, of course. In previous tastings, when I had more time to allow this to cool down, and I came back and smelled it, there was a sweet apricot jam type smell, which was really nice. But you have to wait until this cools off quite a bit more to do that, to detect that. Other things we're going to look at, let me set this aside, is the colors of the shapes and colors of our wet leaf here. So let's pull some of these out. One, we did talk about the dry leaf having tips, and that's what we see here. Actually, we've got a tip connected to the very tip end of a plant. So you've got what was two leaves and a bud. Nice characteristic there. Let's see what else we've got. We do have some solid or near solid leaves, like we have this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and fish this one out, spread it out so you can actually look at the full, because this is a nice full-size large leaf. Different varieties of tea plants will have slight variations in size and shape. Some of them are wider in shape, some of them are more narrow. You can see this one's and one of the other things I would note about the leaves that I've discovered here, I will detect here and there blotches of brown on the leaves. Not the purest, most solid green that I've encountered. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in there like that. What else? Let's see if we can find. I'll pull this one out because it's a nice full-size tip there. Leaf ready to unfold from around that. A new leaf ready to unfold from around that tip, which is pretty. So set that aside. Colors have lightened up, become a more yellowish pear green type color. So that's our wet leaf. Finally, we do want to look at our liquor, and we've got a nice yellow-green color favoring the yellow more than the green. Okay, we're going to give this one a smell. A smell that it's almost like a bar soap, like an ivory soap. A little bit of fragrance there, but very mild, very light. And it's got that I don't know, there's something about soap. I mean, you know, soaps were originally made with a glycerin or a fat or something like that. There is that kind of glycerin type smell that's coming off of this. I mean, it's not off-putting, it's just not the most common either. Body is very weak. Aftertaste, also very weak. Astringency, very light. Now I'm slurping because I'm trying to draw out as much aroma and flavor as I possibly can. A very light, as we talked about previously, there is kind of a light beany aspect, as we talked about in the wet leaf, the aroma. There is a light, almost like a soy milk, soybean juice, soybean pressings, a little bit of white bean in there. What else? Those are probably the two, and those you've really got to work to kind of tease out. So when we look at this tea as a whole, we talked about our dry leaf, characteristic aromas, a little bit on the yellowish brown, aged looking as far as the color of the leaf. We talked about our wet leaf. We talked about 2 leaves and a bud, so we had a nice traditional type expected pairing with those buds and those tips. A couple of brown blotches on the leaf. We got to our liquor. We talked about a lighter, fainter body, fainter aftertaste, light on the astringency, and I should make a note here on the liquor. Second steeping and previous tasting, second steeping, I really put the heat to it, and I put more time into it. And with that, I did draw out a little more aroma and taste coming off that. But still, you had to kind of torture it out of this leaf. So with those kind of characteristics, we leave this with an 84. We were looking for a stronger body. We were looking for stronger, you know, not like a black tea, just boom type aroma body, but you do expect more from even a white monkey like this in comparison with other white monkeys that I've tasted. So 84, also looking for a stronger finish or aftertaste. So hope you're looking for that tea. I hope you're able to enjoy the holidays, to settle in with a nice warm cup of tea that really hits the spot for you. Join us and come back to Walker Tea Review.